Moving on to the next report. Yesterday, President Sako granted an exclusive interview to Mr. Tar, addressing several critical issues surrounding the ongoing war between Ambazonia and the Cameroon. The president began with a firm introductory speech denouncing the upcoming October presidential election in La Republic to Cameroon, emphasizing that such elections must not be permitted in Ambazonian territory. According to him, the so-called elections are nothing more than a selection orchestrated by a political court attempting to cloak illegitimacy in the appearance of democracy. Let's get that.
And let me be absolutely clear from the outset. Cameroon does not organize elections, it organizes selections. That's what courts do. What's unfolding before our eyes is not a democratic exercise, but a ritual designed to preserve a dying system sustained by a brutal dictatorship. Albeit, the portrait candidate exists only in photographs and billboards. The man himself has long withdrawn from public life, yet his oversized image dominates public spaces like relics of a vanished monarch. In truth, Biya is no longer the head of state. He has become a symbol, an idol, a ghost around which his cult of power has been constructed.
While he painted a stark picture of the state of governance in La Republic de Cameroon, describing President Paul Biya as a ghostly figure whose presence has become more illusion than reality. Biya, Sako argued, no longer governs in any meaningful sense, yet remains the constructed center of a crumbling system. What remains of the government, he claimed, is sustained only by judicial manipulation and cosmetic appearances of legality opposition parties, once considered the lifeblood of democracy. Well, it has been reduced to mere actors, handpicked to give the illusion of political plurality. President Sako issued a strong call to action for Ambazonians with Cameroons. In his words, heading towards self-destruction, he warned that Ambazonians must not stake their future on the failing machinery of the French Cameroonian state. A lockdown is being prepared, and all Ambazonians are urged to get ready. The most critical tasks ahead, he stated, are drafting plans for protection and continuing to expose the genocide being committed against their people.
We must fight to take back our country and secure our borders. Our struggle is not simply about rejecting fraudulent elections. It is about safeguarding the survival of our people. We will not allow ourselves to be dragged down by the implosion of Cameroon. In this light, I call on all Ambazonians everywhere to prepare for a decisive action. A nationwide lockdown is being carefully planned. Our commanders on the ground and generals are in consultation, aligning their strategies.
President Sako emphasized the importance of documenting atrocities, both in the collective memory of the Ambazonian people and in the official records of international human rights bodies, such as the United Nations. This, he stressed, is crucial for eventual accountability. In recounting a recent incident involving a pregnant woman, a man, and other victims, the president urged that their stories be accurately told. He encouraged bloggers and media activists to amplify these voices and correct misinformation, highlighting the fact that diplomacy thrives on clarity and truth.
When consensus is reached, the Ambazonian government will make an official announcement and it will be broadcast through our national media. The message is clear. Ambazonia is not to be a spectator to the charade in Yaoundé. We will not legitimize a colonial ritual that insults the intelligence of our people. Instead, we shall demonstrate through action that our future is in our own hands.
The president also addressed internal issues, advising Ambazonians to avoid unnecessary drama, particularly in WhatsApp groups and other online spaces, and to remain focused on the larger mission, on the issue of lockdowns and the sustainability of long-term resistance. He reiterated that the movement is rooted in peaceful self-defense. Ambazonians, he said, were forced into this position by the violence initiated by La Republic du Cameroon. The ghost town strategy must continue regardless of external pressure or internal doubts, he asserted. He reaffirmed the movement's core position. Ambazonians must separate from French Cameroons. No election, fake or otherwise, should be allowed to take place in Ambazonian territory, addressing concerns about the relationship between the diaspora and those on the ground. President Sako rejected the claim that the diaspora is intimidating the home front. Instead, he argued that the revolution is firmly grounded within the people living in Ambazonia. The first shot in these conflicts, he reminded listeners, was fired by La Republique du Cameroon, not by those seeking freedom.
It's just repugnant for anybody to say that the diaspora is orchestrating the mayhem in Cameroon. No. When the resistance started, the demand and the call for change with the consortium, the diaspora was not there. When the La République du Cameroon, when the people on the ground came out in their number, millions, and demanded a return to federation or even separation, all those were all together in the same movement. On the 22nd of September 2017, the diaspora was not there. We were all observing the images from the ground. We were all just offering our own support in terms of opinion to what was happening. We were neither the actors nor the leaders of what was happening. When they decided to use brute force, imprison people, and even disappeared many that have died today, diaspora was not there. Is that called mayhem? That's mayhem. And then they forced those same leaders to the diaspora by the use of force. Many found themselves in the diaspora. Some are still in the diaspora today because of the mayhem that they caused on the ground. They were forced on exile. While in exile, they found a way to express themselves. They were able to say these things without the fear of being targeted and eliminated by the court. And so we joined forces with those of us supporting what was happening on the ground to continue to lend our support to what was going on. So this revolution is not owned by the diaspora. It is owned by the home front. The only thing we do is to give a sense of direction to what is happening. We did not shoot the first shot. Who shot the first shot? That's how to define self-defense. If you don't identify who shot the first shot, who came after the order first, then you will not identify who is self-defending.
Throughout the interview, President Sako delved into the historical context of Ambazonian struggle, referencing long-denied equal status that once existed and reiterating that the movement is one of restoration, not rebellion. Sovereignty, he insisted, is the end goal, and it is non-negotiable. The broader objective of the podcast was to ensure that the pain, history, and truth of the Amazonian people reaches the international community. As the interview concluded, President Sako expressed gratitude to supporters of the movement, including media allies and committed individuals. He pledged to speak only when necessary to maintain clarity and credibility, and promised that the Kansas three key detained figures would not spend Christmas in jail. I beg your pardon. The voices of Ambazonians, he concluded, must never be silenced.
The world has imposed immediate darkness over Ambazonia. We can shine this light and make sure that we force their hands to report correctly. I remember I was speaking to one diplomat recently and talking about our Kansas City 3. I wasn't alone there, I was with other members of government. And the diplomat asked me that, are they the ones who were trafficking guns from the United States? I said, no. So you see, I was confused. I said, okay, it means these people, we know everything, what happened and what did not happen. That this person is a diplomat, a senior diplomat. He doesn't know. He's confusing bananas and oranges. So we have to do a better job. I explained the situation. That I'm saying that if by the time we got there, they have already gotten information through other channels and third-party channels, our conversation would have been what was their state right now, not are they guilty or not guilty because of this and that. So this is an assignment for all of us.
Well, he mentioned that a few members of the Ambazonian government will meet from September 27-28 in the Constituent Assembly, from local government to the county chairs. The stakeholders are the ones who have a stake and will be able to stick together in defining the future.
September from the 27th, 28th, it is the leadership of our struggle from local government to county, from the central government, the leadership, that means all those who hold offices are invited. I will make sure that the steering committee sends out some online invitations so we can be able to filter who is coming in, so that we will give them, everybody will have a badge. We will know those who are participating in person and those probably who may be participating online. But we are going to make sure that everyone who is participating will be identified, because it's a constituent assembly, and we want to be sure that the voices of those who are qualified really count.